Autel has a smart controller dilemma. Let's talk about it. What is up, guys? California Phantom here. Let's get straight into it, talk about the Autel smart controller dilemma. First of all, the Autel smart controller entered the chat around the half-life, some consider 3/4 through the life of the Autel EVO II. The smart controller entered the chat at a price point of around $1,140, pricing it a little bit above most people's expectations and sort of turned itself into a niche product on its own. It didn't necessarily disqualify it as a capable controller, but given the size, overall weight, and price point, this quickly became the choice for more professional grade commercial pilots and sort of alienated itself from the hobbyists that were expecting a little bit more of a lower price point. This isn't a bad thing given the controller's overall size, added features over the DJI smart controller, namely the faster processor and larger screen. It's definitely a product more built for professionals, and that necessarily isn't a bad thing, but it does bring us to the issues that we have now. The very fact that this system came in late with their new transmission system for the Nano series and the Lite series with the 2.7K transmission, it is very, very unlikely that this current smart controller will be compatible with their future lineup of drones. You contrast that with DJI's smart controller, which had a whole host of different drone options that were all compatible right down to the Mini 2. This product is reaching its end of life, and with the new transmission system of the Mavic 3, you can expect that this drone controller will no longer be compatible. This is when things get really interesting because based on the leaks that were provided by Osita and 27 leaks on Twitter, the Mavic 3 and DJI will already be bringing forward a new smart controller to set up with its new series of drones in the foreseeable future. That makes a $799 price point or even a $999 price point more justifiable and more absorbable, because when these people buy these products and they can use them with future drones, they have the confidence in knowing that after the drone has reached its end of life or they want to upgrade to a new drone, they can and bring along this incredible smart controller. You contrast DJI's smart controller to the larger and more impressive Autel smart controller, and it quickly becomes apparent that this smart controller will not be compatible with the Nano, it will not be compatible with the Lite, and it certainly won't be compatible with the EVO 3. This makes the $1,149 investment even more useless, frustrating, and the overall unpleasurable experience dealing with Autel. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing given the size of this tablet, given the shape and the weight, but enough people to me have complained about this size that I wouldn't mind seeing the smart controller going to a smaller form factor to appeal to more people. Autel can easily decide to make a DJI-sized smart controller. This would bring the price point down, appeal to a larger base, consumer base, and professional base, and basically get both sides of the field happy at a lower price point and sell more of these things. I'd hate to see Autel's smart controller be the last smart controller they ever made because they made the poor decision on releasing this so far down the line. Imagine a world, or imagine a scenario where the X-Star was compatible, the EVO 1, the EVO 2, and possibly the Nano was compatible. This thing would have got a hell of a lot more sales and a lot more service life out of it, and would have appealed to a broader base. I'd hate to see this Autel smart controller be the last smart controller simply because of the chip shortage. We have the V1 units, the V2 units. This sort of convolutes things even more, confuses the consumer on what to buy, if they're gonna buy. I don't know if I'm gonna buy a V1 unit, a V2 unit. This thing at $1,149 is only good for one single drone. Is it gonna be compatible? Autel hasn't said anything about it, but it's unlikely that it is. You guys gotta develop a smart controller, follow DJI's path. Whether it's smaller or the same size, I don't think it matters, but if you can make it compatible with future series of drones, I think we all in the drone community would appreciate it. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like and subscribe if you haven't already. Drop me a comment down below, letting me know whether or not you agree with me. Do you like that DJI's approach, having that whole host of lineups, different drones for their one smart controller? We know they're releasing a new smart controller with their new series of drones. Should Autel take that same approach? Should they keep that $1,149 monstrosity? Or should they go with a smaller form factor with the DJI smart controller, something like this? I always love hearing from you guys. I'll catch you on the next adventure.